What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Function. Today's guest is Logan Paul. Sorry, I've been thinking that in my head all day because I was like, fuck. We've been putting all of our guests on the spot to make an intro, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll mix it up. And then I was like, oh, I'll introduce him as Logan Paul.
I think we got a really good taste in our mouth from Jack, and then after that, it just kind of,
Yeah, Jack tastes really good in our mouth.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been training for this Mayweather fight pretty hard.
Oh yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, Logan here is going to be talking about all the prep going into the Mayweather fight.
That is crazy. That guy's about to make like $100 million.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Is that how much is on the line?
No, okay. Probably not, but Mayweather has made $100 million from like every one of his last fights. Like his last several.
Yeah, because
Logan Paul's probably not going to make that much, but he's going to make
he's going to make a lot
money.
Because it's what brought Mayweather out of retirement.
Yeah.
Because that was like the whole thing is that people are going to pay a bunch of money to see if he loses.
Dude, okay, first of all, it takes all of the fans of boxing in America, which is apparently a lot because people pay a bunch of money, and also the fans of people who want to see Logan getting fucked, which is hilarious.
The YouTube community.
That's you.
YouTube. Yeah, me. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, just getting absolutely destroyed.
But I can get $100 million.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Yeah.
Who was? Were we talking about that yesterday?
Where
it's like did you see Jake Paul's obnoxious video calling out Conor McGregor?
Yeah, he's been doing that. No, he's trying to get. I think it's probably
gosh.
Yeah, he's trying to fight Conor McGregor.
He said something. He's like $50 million.
Yeah, he said that they sent him a check for $50 million, and he made this video of him like with the Irish flag, like sitting in his car, like calling out Conor McGregor,
that's
like
crazy. Calling
his wife ugly and stuff. It was just so Jake Paul.
And she's not. So.
Yeah, no, she is.
Anyway, Logan Meaux is actually our guest today. I realized that we kind of went way too long into not explaining who you are. So, Logan, I guess before we get back into whatever the fuck we're going to talk about, why don't you explain who you are? Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. And so this is my second podcast ever. So I know you guys have been at it for a while. So my name is Logan Meaux, and I am a finance major at LSU from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Not born and raised there, but mainly went to high school. Moved to Baton Rouge for college, and now I'm kind of starting my own company, and that's kind of how I got involved with you two. Colin, you actually kind of working for me with Breach and everything, and the company you started there. And I kind of just connected with Elliot on LinkedIn, and so that's kind of how I met these two guys. But yeah, I started a company. It's basically Airbnb for hunting and fishing. That's kind of like what I call it, and kind of just coined that term. And I don't know about you, Colin, but I think it's a pretty cool company. And
yeah, love it. Love it so much, actually.
I just think it's also interesting that we were in a class together, but we just weren't in the same group, and it was an entirely group-based class. So we also
I had no idea. I
think we briefly talked when we took the pictures on like the second class or the first class.
Oh yeah.
And then that was it. But then I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need to connect with you. So
that's funny because we were talking today about like how y'all knew each other. I'm like, I have no idea how they know each other, but LinkedIn apparently. It's like,
that's what started. He just posted something and I was just like, oh yeah, and then just DM'd him.
That's funny.
Look, I'm a big LinkedIn guy.
Dude, right? I can tell. You love LinkedIn.
I
see on my feed
LinkedIn like it's no tomorrow, but it's more like because I'm a big Gary Vee guy, and he's he's big into LinkedIn. Yeah. It's like organic.
No, I definitely agree though, because I've been sold to so many times, like in the last couple of months, just being on LinkedIn, put co-founder in your name, and people are like, "Hey, look, we've got this amazing product." I'm like, look, man, we just got started.
Well, it's like I don't want to be a financial advisor, but I've had more financial advisors like reach out to me to do like internships and like job offers or interviews, whatever. But like
on LinkedIn,
yeah.
I have not gotten any.
Well, I don't know what it is exactly, but I think something about, I guess, financial advisors and everything is starting your own business. And so the fact of what I have in my bio is kind of like all my experience with working for Waiter, starting at 16, kind of doing that whole part in my bio kind of like interests a lot of people. So it's really about how you set up your bio and kind of just get organic connections.
Yeah.
I'm glad you get to take the title from me, because there's a video of me going on a rant after I just got roasted for my LinkedIn usage that my friends took. So
wait, what?
there was
When did that happen?
it was like 2 years ago because this was before
in High
anyone.
Point? Or what?
No, this was here.
Here?
Shouts out Jake Forshag for for that.
For making fun of you?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
He loves LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn.
Oh, I know.
constantly.
Oh, I'm aware.
We were
now.
talking about this the
Yes.
other night.
Yeah, we were, but
You know Jake?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But we were talking about how he got made fun of for being on LinkedIn, and then the person that was making fun
Oh
was
yeah,
pretty
dude.
big on LinkedIn.
He's a fiend.
yeah. Oh
He's like
yeah.
making graphics and stuff.
Well, you're
Like,
you're better than you're more on there than me because you actually post. I've made like 3 posts.
Yeah, less lately, but I actually kind of went through a course, so to speak, and learned a lot about LinkedIn and like why it's important to use for like if you're going to be a consultant doing that whole thing, which I thought was interesting at some point before I was like full on with Mallard Bay. It's definitely the way to go if you're like going to trickle, like get leads. Like my financial advisor, Spencer Smith, he reached out to me on LinkedIn, but he does all his stuff on LinkedIn, like every single thing. Like that's how he's got every single one of his clients, just naturally. That and
Also-
knocking on like 1,000 doors in Prairieville, which sounds terrible.
makes sense. It's called Mallard Bay, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we said that. MallardBay.com. It's
Mallard
live.
Bay.
We'll get more into that
Outdoors.
though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
unless you want to start on that now. I'm actually very curious on. You probably told me this, and I feel like I should know this, but for the listeners out there, break down Mallard Bay, starting at kind of where you're at now, and all that jazz.
Right. So right now we are at a pretty pivotal moment, and so we just launched our first version of the product, like full system complete. So you can go from not know anything about us to create an account to signing up and actually booking and paying through the platform. So that's a big accomplishment, like being able to use Stripe, do those type of things. And so right now we have 47 outfitters onboarded with us and over 100 listings. We have about 30 right now that are in the queue waiting to be onboarded to actually kind of get the ball rolling in terms of like the booking side of things. So you have your supply side and your demand side. So the demand side is the sportsman. So we have been less focused on that. Now we're kind of switching our focus over to the sportsman and trying to use Facebook ads and things like that you can't really use when you don't have a full MVP product.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we had a big uptick in our development when you came on with Breach and everything and helping Tam and kind of getting those things. But product management has never been my thing. So I definitely think that where we are now is a long shot away from where we started in January, which is didn't write a line of code until April. And by then it was just me and Tam. So we started in April, and to have a fully custom booking API that's very similar to Airbnb after 8.5 months, kind of learned a lot of patience along the way. And I think that it's a pretty big accomplishment, but we still have so long, to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And also that part, the fact that they got the entire thing, they all had the entire thing working, Tam's a magician for that. I mean, I know he had a bunch of help, but even in the time, if I was working on a project solo, like if it was just me and one other person working on a project for that long, oh my God, that's taxing.
And I'm not coding anything.
Yeah,
so.
right. You're just like, that looks bad. That looks good.
Yeah. Well, it's really his front end work that has kind of helped along the way, because we never had a designer come in and like do the UI, UX designs. We did at the beginning, which was a huge waste of money. We paid like $5,000 to have someone do the mobile app mocking MVP.
Damn. The demo that you'll have?
No. So that was like the second. So when Ian came in and did that, shout out Dark Horse Labs.
Been missing out on the. we haven't had a UX UI segment on our podcast in a minute, so I'm glad
been
we're
a few
bringing it
weeks.
back here. Oh,
Really?
It's so fun to talk about, even though our listeners probably fucking hate it.
Well, yeah, it was that kind of gave a better vision of what we wanted it to look like compared to what the other crappy UI. I don't want to like dog anybody, but it was a waste of money.
Yeah. Well, you're not.
It was the
saying-
very first thing we did, which was
okay.
really stupid. just in general. I mean, I've done a lot of stupid stuff with Mallard Bay. You just learn. That's kind of all it is just trial error.
Right.
Move fast and break
every
it.
day. I'm like still trying to figure out how to manage y'all's team, or how to get Tam to manage y'all's team. But learning how to be a manager is like a lot different than a leader. So I've become a better leader, but I'm not that great of a manager yet. So it's kind of holding people accountable I'm not good at that.
I think that's just a kind of a time thing, I feel like. But yeah, so no, I can't really ask any questions because I kind of know. So you ask questions because
About Mallard
it'll
Bay.
be more interesting.
Damn. I don't even know
Where are y'all now in development?
Well, we just started our third sprint of the month. And
It's true.
So where's
not going to get into that.
assuming where's the concentration of listings? I'm assuming Louisiana, or no.
No, so our listings aren't really concentrated in a geographical area specifically. We really have a lot of species groupings. So our whitetail hunts, for example, are really big, and we have really reputable outfitters for our whitetail hunts, but they're not focused in a specific geographical area.
Okay.
Because we have some places in Texas. Texas is really big for whitetail. So, of course, we have places in Texas, but we go like Kentucky, Indiana, Pennsylvania. So, like, it's a different strategy than usual, but where my co-founder is from, and kind of something that kicked off our corporate sales, or our supply side sales, so to speak, was signing on my co-founder. I think she's got like 12.5 thousand followers on Instagram, and
Get out of the way. Have her on here.
hey, Caroline would love to do it. She's just a go-getter. You know, there's some people that like are really good at what they do and everything, but she just kind of takes things to another level. So that's why when I put her in charge of onboarding, signing up outfitters and everything, it just like took off. And then so now we're trying to play catch up with the booking side of things. But along the way, we actually just finished. I guess it was Thanksgiving when we first like transacted through the platform. Like Tam sent me the things like, oh, we completed like the first payment, like it charged his card, and I was like, whoa, like that was a big moment, because
That's always fun, is seeing that first payment go through.
Yeah, it's not. I can't tell you how many times we've talked about Stripe and wanted to get it finished and like try to get it finished, but we realized, or Tam and I had to realize, that he wasn't experienced enough to kind of finish that part of the project,
Especially for a one-man job.
Yeah, I give Tam a lot of credit, because he's been able to do a lot by himself, and he's all self-taught for the most part. I mean, he does have a degree, but most of what we do now, like AWS, all those back end,
Yeah, you don't want that in school.
He didn't know any of that before we started, and so I kind of let him pick the technologies we wanted to use, not really knowing what his total capabilities were, but I wanted him to work with something that was fun for developers, whatever that is.
Not painful.
But you would probably know more of like how actually complicated it can get, because y'all are just getting into some back end stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we've done our own back end, but like nothing. This was from the ground up, built to be scalable, which we've never done, and so yeah, y'all stack it's good. It's well built. Yeah, it is. It's a
Welcome back to the Stack podcast.
yeah.
I'll just insert the memes for the programming parts that I get.
Well, huge credit to y'all for starting this podcast and following through with it, and like continue to post episodes and like have a stream, like, you know, cute. Like, I didn't think it would take me so long to get on here, because I thought I was kind of an important option. but
we're friends, but
yeah, even as being y'all's friends, like y'all about your business when it comes to this stuff, so that's good.
Well, it's annoying, and we've said this multiple times, but it's the a lot of times when we hang out, we're just like, shit, we don't want to talk about this because we want to talk about it on the podcast. So there's a lot of it's now, as friends, it's weird to talk about interesting things.
Yeah, if it's too interesting, we're just like,
we want this.
Save it for the pod.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I saw this. after I watched an episode of the TMG podcast that came out recently, and they were making fun of Matthew McConaughey in this podcast promoting his book, talking about how he was basically getting mad at Christopher Nolan for wanting to do all these takes for this, like the scene where he's crying in Interstellar, and basically he's just like, take one, it's natural. He's like, after take one, then you're acting or whatever, and I'm just like, that's so cringy. But then I was like, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, he makes a good point where it's like your first time you do
Actually,
it's your
that
reaction,
makes sense.
and then after that you're anticipating it, so it's acting.
Yeah.
But,
okay, fair.
yeah, so now I feel like
Fine,
we're being like out batshit crazy Matthew McConaughey acting mode when we talk about this. But
Have y'all listened to any of the Green Lights at all?
no, I want to read it though, but I also kind of I finished the first book, but I said over Christmas break I was going to finish 6 books. I don't know how far I'll get into that, but
Choose some short books. You know,
I can probably clean. I got Charlemagne the God's book that I started reading today.
How long's
Actually,
that?
wait, what?
how long is that?
It's like 200 pages, and the print's big. I can probably knock that out. And first off, every single rap book I've read, I've knocked out in a day.
Just do some
Really?
like Magic Treehouse or whatever.
No.
What is that? What
Yeah,
are those
Magic
books?
Treehouse.
Yeah, Magic.
I've never read
Hit some Magic
rap,
Treehouses.
a rap book.
Well, by rap book, I mean like Gucci Mane and Rick Ross both came out with autobiographies.
Oh, really?
I got those. Yes, they're both good.
Ghost written?
I mean, they worked with an author.
Yeah,
like
well.
all of those, it's like they wrote. Yeah, they partner with an actual author, and they were just like, "Hey, this is how I want to say it," and the author would just coach them. But those were really good, and I got them for Christmas, and then because I wasn't doing much with family, and that was it. It was just Christmas. I would literally just killed it in a day.
Nice.
So that's easy, and I probably can knock that one out. But
What's your favorite book? You have
period.
one? Yeah.
Nonfiction, definitely 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Fiction,
I've heard of that one.
0 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna have to give it to you. You would actually fucking love it.
Would.
I got to read 3 books by Q1.
Fiction.
Why?
Fiction.
It's just a goal.
Oh, personal goal. Okay.
Yeah, it was a personal goal because before this summer, I hadn't read a book in years.
I don't think.
Other than a textbook.
Yeah, fiction books. I don't read that much. I read comics. That's the difference.
Oh no, I'm not reading fiction.
I'll read nonfiction.
Not strictly nonfiction. I'm gonna learn something.
I'll
when I
read
a book.
nonfiction, personal development, or I'll read comics. So that I guess probably top 2 is 0 to 1 Peter Thiel, and then the Steve Jobs autobiography.
What about you?
Oh, I haven't read that. That was a good one. I think right now my favorite book is one that I'm reading kind of halfway through, and it's called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's super interesting. It's about the author was a plastic surgeon, and it's all about your self-image and why the way he developed his theories and the science behind it. It also kind of links a little bit to spiritual stuff, but he was a plastic surgeon, and he couldn't understand why some people would come to him miserable, get their face fixed, and then some of them would be, completely new people, and then others would be exactly the same. So it was all about how they actually portrayed themselves in their own light or their self-image.
That's
and it's
really
all about
interesting.
how each human being has a creative mechanism in their brain, and so you can't really force creativity. Like, you can't make it up, but you there's no such thing as like, oh, you're like born creative or you're not. Like, it's something that's even learned, and like it's all just naturally within you.
That's
So it's
actually
really, really interesting.
That's actually what sparked us meeting. I'm now remembering this.
Oh,
I
the creativity
posted
post.
a post about how people just make up an excuse that they're not creative when it's really just like you have to commit to being creative, and you kind of got to you can't half commit. It's one of those, you got to go all in or just don't do it. And the people who are creative, they've like committed that they're going to be creative in whatever it is. So yeah, that was that. You commented on that post,
that's right.
and then I hit you up. But
Yeah, because I like my personality. Another book I've read is Interpersonal Technology. It's kind of like a personality typing system.
is that the one you sent me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm a presenter. So a presenter is my, I guess, personality type, and so it's just all about how I like to communicate. So I like to communicate if I'm business stuff. Like if I really wanted to get something across to, say, the breach team, I would make a PowerPoint and like present it to you, because that's just how I like process thoughts and how it kind of goes through my head and how I best communicate it to other people. Because if I just sit there and talk, I could be talking out of my ass. Sometimes I am, but
Most of the time, I am.
but yeah, I mean, it's kind of just all about personal development for me, kind of after June, and learning through entrepreneurship itself. Like if you don't develop your own personal skills, but also like taking care of yourself first, not your business, like that's a big thing, because I always wanted to put the business first, but really what I was doing was not, just neglecting myself in general, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's been a big eye-opener for me this year, is that I've been almost essentially neglecting myself for business over the past couple of years, and this is the first year kind of hit a wall and then realized that, confronted it, and now we're pretty solid. So yeah, I get exactly what you mean with that. But fuck, I just had something I wanted to say.
Think.
And it was relating to the creativity thing, and then also shouts out to you for doing this. I wish everyone would do this. Is if you know how you learn best and how you break things down best, I like how you're just straight up with that. You're like, yep, this is how I learn, this is how I explain things to people. So to me, it's like, oh, now I know anytime I ever want to bring something to you, I know exactly how to do it effectively. And
Right.
I hate that some people just create the unnecessary friction for that, to where it's just like, yeah, if you don't pay attention to PowerPoints, don't fucking ask for one. Don't make me make one. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, because in that book, it breaks it down to, well, what really was crazy about the book is I had to read it for the Entrepreneurship Fellows, like Danny Holt's class.
Oh, I still have to finish
And
that, but-
so I had to write a book report on it. But the whole thing is I got to actually take the personality type test that they give in a seminar form.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back and read it 3 days ago. And I was reading, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I thought this was my personality type like months ago. But after so much time has passed, you really can tell, like, okay, yeah, that's exactly how I am, which is weird. Because it kind of like talks about body language, everything.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Are you a big you speak with your hands type beat?
Not really. No, I mean, I kind of like.
Said,
just curious.
Not really.
Yeah, not really. Now
No.
I'm trying to like hold my hands to myself. I don't know. Maybe I do. Do I?
I was genuinely asking. I didn't know if you like knew. Like me, I am a huge fidgeter, and I talk with my hands. It's come to the point where holding a mic isn't even enough, and that's why I like holding the mic over
Yeah,
having
I
a
agree.
stand.
You know, I
because-
kind of like the holding the mic instead of like having to sing, because you don't like.
Well, it's the same reason
Yeah.
that whether I'm drinking or not, when I'm out, I like to have a drink in my hand, just for the sake of having. Because if now
Oh, no,
I
you
get
wanna look
too-
cool,
I
I
get too.
get it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get too.
It's a
distracted.
cool thing.
It'll be a water. I can have a water.
No, I agree. It's like I'm definitely with that.
I'm literally
we got
in the constant mode of what do I do with my hands.
Yeah. Yeah, which is also bad for like spending money, because if I don't have a drink anymore, I'm like, I need to get a drink. I just need to hold it, you know?
That's why you get water.
Yeah.
That's what I quickly learned.
No, I still haven't learned that. No, you actually inspired me to buy some mic stands, because you have one in the office.
Oh, really?
Like
Yeah.
that's a hard fucking
That
thing.
is a power
are pretty
move.
cool.
In
Yeah.
having the most professional mic you possibly can in a Zoom call is literally the biggest
Yeah.
power play.
Sick.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I literally inspired me. I'm like, I'm getting one. I bought one like the next day.
Well, I have one of those little Mevo mics. It's a lavalier mic, which is like one of the coolest things I've gotten. But for some reason,
I'm more excited
with
to
the
talk about
MacBook,
mics on the podcast than,
with the
than UI.
with the MacBooks, it doesn't really like interface that well with some certain like Zooms and stuff. But
Damn.
I like using that specific mic whenever I'm on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
It was pretty rad.
Yeah, I need to actually get a
Did I
real
just say
mic.
rad.
Yeah, it was cool.
In
Don't worry.
2020, yeah, I know. It's been a long year.
If you would just like stuck with it, I'd have been like, this is a guy that says rad. That's
Wait,
fine.
did y'all have like a good 2020 though? Like
Killer.
In
I think. Like, what? Maybe one of my best yet, in terms of years.
I
know?
think it was a very big growth year for me, and I think it's going to end on a very good note. But I definitely went through probably the most shit I've ever gone through this year. So, or at least in a long time. So it's been It's been a fun.
Really had a tough
it's
one.
been not even a fun. It's been an interesting year to say the least, and I know that's excluding the pandemic. That's just like that was just my life, and then the pandemic was just on top of that. So
I think that we had so much fun in January and February that we're still paying for it today.
Yeah,
That's
like
true.
The football team.
I had that too.
going off of the
Like
high
going-
of winning the
Yeah.
national championship.
At the beginning of
No, because we
January and
rode
February,
that fucking wave.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Yeah, we did.
God.
Yeah, that was by far like my favorite 2 months,
Tigers.
2-month period. Oh, what?
I said go Tigers.
Yeah, go Tiger. That
What's
was my
that?
favorite
And then
2-month
the-
period, and then Corona hit, and I'm like, you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah, you're. I still love I know you probably hate me saying this, but like, wasn't it like your birthday lined up with Mardi Gras perfectly to where you
Yeah.
drank, or you were like drunk for like almost 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, it was like 12 days straight. We're on a bender.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then I stopped because I
For
was like,
months.
I'm like, I will die.
Had some alcohol.
I remember when
Yeah,
we
it was
said
it was
that.
really bad. It wasn't even because I wanted to. It was because we had an event every single day, and then at the end of it, I'm like, I.
It did line up perfectly that all happened, and then everything shut down. So then it was like, finally, we can
Yeah,
have
I
a
can
reason
relax,
to stop drinking.
stop spending money. What happened was we won the national championship, and then
That faded into your 21st birthday.
that faded right into my 21st
Right.
birthday, which was right up into
Colin Grow.
Colin Gras. Yeah, my birthday was right on Mardi Gras, and so I
Colin
renamed it
Gras.
to
Okay.
Colin Gras. So
Took
so
me
yeah.
a second there.
Yeah, so I
That's-
think
that's good. You have your own holiday.
yeah. How was your 2020? How'd you fare?
Kind of started off like you, like on a super high note,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of just went like as soon as I started watching Corona come over from China, I
Yeah.
started just kind of worrying about it and kind of
March and April and
low
May
key
were
freaking out about it.
Yeah.
And so then going whole quarantine stuff, and that was not that great
that was less
in
less fun.
general. But also going 100% remote
That's
on
horrible.
like trying to do product
Yeah.
development, product management, talking with Tam like every day on.
Yeah.
So it took us a while to get in the groove. I think it was around. We didn't really get in a groove until June. So right after my 22nd birthday, I was in New Mexico, but every single day we were on the phone in the morning. We had our consultants out of Austin, which were actually my dad's co-founders, and they kind of helped us get it together a little bit. And it took a month, but
Yeah,
it really kind of momentum built after that.
that I'm sure that you can relate, but like that's what made this year so bearable. It was like, having something to look forward to, not just being like, oh fuck, school sucks. It's gonna be another year and a half until things are open and like whatever. Like actually being able to be like, yeah, okay, well I'm building something at least.
Yeah, I hated school this semester.
It was horrible.
I
horrible.
don't think it was probably the most annoying semester I've had just in general with classes. Like certain classes are not like overly hard, but
Like busy work.
yeah, busy work. And when I already have enough keeping me busy, it just makes me,
Your desire goes to the floor. I had the
And-
worst GPA I've ever had in my existence of school, and it's
too.
not because it was
Same.
necessarily hard. It was because I did not give a single fuck
give a
because I
fuck.
hated school.
Same.
Yeah.
So it just
Yeah,
kinda let go.
It's like, hey, I have to go to the office to my business, where I'm building a platform for, that whatever. And then being like, they're like, no, you can't. You have to do this Excel homework or something.
something
yeah.
that you're never going to use.
Right.
Question: What are your thoughts on this? This is one thing that I love that he teaches, but so Tim Ferriss talks about the I think it's like he calls it his self-study MBA. Basically what he says is he goes, hey, he's like, I figure out how to do it, but it's instead of paying money to go get an MBA, just take that money and start a business and then just figure it out from there. And he was like, you'll learn a lot more doing that than you will actually in class. So I wanted to know what y'all's thoughts were on that.
I haven't got an MBA, so
I'm
I can't,
all
I
for
can't
it.
tell
I
you.
got my MBA, and if that's what it takes to get an MBA, I got mine. But it really is the amount. It's really how much you want to put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, Colin, you probably get it. Like if you don't go in and put the work in, the hours. I mean, y'all track y'all's hours, so I don't track my own hours. But if you're not putting in the effort, like to get up, go to work, put those hours in, actually get things done, like answering emails when you don't want to. I hate emails. And all those different things, you don't realize what that one thing that you do consistently will build the momentum for the next thing. So kind of back to the MBA by fire is what I would call it. It's just, I'd say worth it. And just in general, it's worth it because you learn exponentially more than you would if you just waited. Like if I waited till I was like, I would have just completely just missed the whole opportunity. There's no point after that. Like, you know.
One thing I want to get your thoughts on, completely shifting. It's more on your comment on emailing, but one thing that, being that everyone in Europe and just in the rest of the world uses WhatsApp, do y'all wish that WhatsApp was more popular and that people did voice texts instead of texting, just for the sake of speed, or no?
What do you mean? Oh, like voice to text?
No, not voice to text.
No, like
I do
voice
to
messages.
Like, yeah, like Hannah sends me voice messages. I know, but it's not as popular. Like, I mean, Hannah exclusively messages me in voice messages. Like, I do not get any text message from her. She's from Ireland, so that's also. But
well, my comment on that would be, you get so much more context.
Yeah.
Over audio and video more. Like imagine if we sent
looms,
or I know people that send
LinkedIn
video
messages
snaps.
just takes Snapchat.
Yeah. LinkedIn stories.
I still love that LinkedIn.
I swear it's coming.
LinkedIn had stories before Twitter. That's
Wait, what?
Yes.
They
I thought that was
stories?
fucking. Yeah, they have LinkedIn stories now, and they got them before Twitter.
Yeah, they
did.
got it before Twitter.
That's, I think, the only reason Twitter
Dude, you
did
need
it.
to up
Twitter's
your LinkedIn game.
Twitter's
Y'all
like
fucking with me?
LinkedIn fucking got stories before we did. What the fuck?
And nobody really
That's
uses LinkedIn
hilarious.
stories.
There's
I'm about to.
somebody
Gary
who
Vee
does.
does.
I'm about to
There's
start
just
using
one
them every
dude
day.
who fucking posts one every fucking day. Whether it's just a screenshot from a Wall Street Journal article that he saw, whether it's this chart or whatever, he puts one every day. So shouts out that dude who I
You know,
can't remember his
that
name.
guy.
Can't remember his name, but if I open LinkedIn, it's going to be right there.
We'll put his
Well,
name
then
in the
he's kind of
description.
defeating the purpose. You can't even remember his name.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but he's always there in case he wants to check.
Yeah, in case he needs him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, in case I want to look at a
I
LinkedIn
talked to him
story.
once at a conference 2 years ago. So
So you're like best buds, basically.
yeah, you're right. He's actually coming to my wedding.
Is he?
No,
You're,
'cause-
also, you're getting married?
No, I'm not getting married.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing I wanted to ask is are y'all reaching out? So this is shifting kind of back to Mallard Bay. Are y'all reaching out like mostly like on the phone to just like random people that y'all can find, like random outfitters, and just trying to get them on the platform? Or y'all like going to places and like, you know, like what's the process there right now? I was just curious about that.
Right. So luckily, Caroline kind of came with some connections attached.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, in the outdoor industry, kind of in her realm up there. And then also, really, she started out reaching out to people that follow her, like outfitters and guys that followed her, and would just reach out to them via DM. And since she's got clout, so to speak, and so she gets recognized a little bit faster, kind of can build that rapport faster, which speeds up the sales process in a little bit, you know, in some aspects, but kind of makes it not so like standardized. So, you know, if I was going to find an outfitter, like it's mostly through a connection. Our close rate compared to like if it was a cold lead or a cold outfitter, so to speak, it's 75%. Like if it's a referral, 75% close rate. If it's not, then it's 20%.
Gotcha.
So you have a constant funnel of leads that we have. And right now, Caroline uses Trello. So we use Trello,
Yeah.
and that's how she tracks her leads. But I use HubSpot.
Okay.
So
what is the friction there? Like, what is stopping people from wanting to sign up as an outfitter? Like, is there?
To me,
You know, it's free, right, for an outfitter?
right.
yeah, for me, I feel like that's a lot
That was a real
easier to convince. No, I'm adding on
Oh,
to
okay,
that.
yeah.
Is like, unlike Airbnb, to where they were trying to convince people to like basically open up their homes to have strangers stay.
This is already
like
business.
The people are already
people
doing
are
it.
already looking. They're already doing this. This is like, hey, this is just a more streamlined platform for you to do it. So I would have thought that the close rate would have been higher than 20% even for cold, just because I mean it's like they're doing the same thing, and it's not like you're charging them money.
It's a brilliant platform.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah, and I mean,
exactly what they
we've
need.
blown our goals out the water. Like there was a time like back when like we used to think we were like, oh, there's no way outfitters are going to sign up for this. Like, what are we doing? This is so stupid. And sure enough,
the Valley of Despair
really,
or whatever.
Yeah,
You know?
well,
There's like a chart of like how you feel about your product.
really.
And at some point,
I know. Hold up, I'm gonna pull that up. But what's it called?
it's the Valley of Despair.
Valley
I don't
of
remember what
Despair.
it's exactly like called. But there's a point at which every person with a successful product thought this is never going to work. We should quit. Like
Well,
there it is.
that's when you know. I'm not sure where I saw this exactly.
The Dunning-Kruger effect. Yeah, your confidence is the y-axis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and wisdom is the x-axis, and it's like peak of Mount Stupid, Valley of Despair, the slope of enlightenment, and then the plateau of sustainability.
Oh my
At the
gosh.
different points.
That's actually super accurate, though.
Yeah.
In all honesty, because once you get to the point, and I got to this point where I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't know if I want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And it was during quarantine, and like, you know, I'm glad I never made that decision, but like that type of stuff is like for real.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel as confident as you should sometimes, and sometimes you feel too confident,
Yeah.
like that it's to the point where it's bad,
Right.
like you're not prepared for different things. So
But I think that's a lot where discipline comes in, you know? It's like just keep moving.
and it's having an overarching goal plan, like what do I want to do with my life besides Mallard Bay or starting that company? Like what do I actually, like, how do I want to impact people in the way I found? I guess you could say it's like my why or whatever, is like I actually want to help entrepreneurs who go through that particular stage in which you want to give up, and you think you're not an entrepreneur or something like that, but it's really all mostly self-doubt that's doing it. But there are some people that are not made for entrepreneurship at all, but everybody wants to do it because it's like the new
Well, it's cool
thing.
now.
Sexy,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
cool
it's
now,
a lot
right?
cooler now than it was.
Yeah, like I get made fun of for having entrepreneur in my bio, but like what I mean,
Trevor Wallace didn't help us out with that one either, but
What?
Trevor Wallace
He's
did a video where it was
funny.
like
He's
it
so
was
funny.
like dudes who have entrepreneur in their
Oh.
bio, and just did a video on that.
Uh-oh. I think I have entrepreneur in my bio.
I have it in mind. Yeah, no, then you definitely love 0 to 1, because like the whole thing is
Yeah.
it's like going from nothing to something, 0 to 1 is and doing something so revolutionary is so much harder than like adding on to something that already exists. Like then it was like talking about how the argument he also makes, like everyone wants to be the next Larry Page, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, but it's like there's a reason they only come every once in a blue moon, or I guess a flood at the end.
There's a reason you can only name 5 of them.
Yeah,
But it's because it's like, even to think of something and then execute on something so revolutionary like that, it's very difficult. So it's kind of like a whole principle based off of our book, based off of that kind of like thought.
interesting. Okay,
I'll lend it to you.
yeah, you need.
I don't have it here, but I have it at my parents' house. I'll bring it to you next time. But
Yeah, I mean, getting exposed to, and just to give other people a backstory, and I know I mentioned a little bit of this, but so my story kind of starts out in, 6 years old, my family went completely bankrupt because my dad was an entrepreneur and had a big startup, Silicon Valley, but .com bubble burst, and $20 million in a startup down the drain. Like, our family was, I mean, he basically considered a failed entrepreneur, and seeing him go through that. Obviously, when I was 6 years old, I had no idea what was going on. But those kind of limiting beliefs and things, they stick with you until you're like 21 years old. Like until you start realizing like, oh, I've just been like limiting myself financially because of all the things that happened in my childhood that I'm just like was never really, secure with money and everything. So going from freshman, sophomore year starting working as a delivery driver for Waiter, and starting from the ground up, watching him go to startup weekend, pitch Waiter. I didn't get to watch him, but kind of like getting reports back on the phone, like he was actually like they won the thing, and like they're going pitch in front of investors, and like it's starting to pick up steam. So like all those kind of influences shape the entrepreneur I am now, but I had to watch it happen in front of my face to be like, okay, like I understand what's going on. So when I got to so I started out as a delivery driver delivery driver for a year and a half, worked customer service for a year and a half in a customer service in a hyper growth startup where everything and anything is going wrong. And you're just dealing with fires. That's all we did. I managed delivery drivers, and like, that was it. So being the son of the CEO, knowing that you are, and talking to drivers and telling them when to go get deliveries, like it was kind of like a weird dynamic because everybody's like, oh, he's the boss's kid, blah, 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 blah. But that's where I learned a lot of stuff, like management, actually, like managing 150 drivers as a 17-year-old. Like what? It's kind of going from there to data intelligence and operations and learning like the inner workings of the business. That was the coolest part, was getting to that point where I'm like, okay, I can actually make decisions that will affect the business, or make, I guess, inferences. They'd be like, oh, might be happening because of this. Like our drivers are not picking up orders because they're not getting paid enough. Like it's just obvious. But those type of things, I always kind of try to watch out for my dad's back, just in general. But going public and ringing the New York Stock Exchange bell at the NASDAQ, like peak moment. Peak moment.
That's pretty exciting.
And you did that, right?
Yeah.
I did not get to ring the bell, but I was there.
You were there.
I was behind him.
Also, that makes me sad hearing you say that. Not that part, but the you were 17 working for there, because I thought I was the only 17-year-old who worked for Waiter. Being that they hired me as a delivery driver at 17, and then I had a friend try and go apply, and they changed the age after, and I kind of got grandfathered in. So I was like, yes, only 17-year-old, but no.
I can't remember when they changed that.
That was in like 2016, 2017.
Fun fact, you were my delivery driver one time, because I remember getting the first text I got from you, and it was like the text.
Oh, you still?
That was
like, that's hilarious.
Funny.
That's fucking hilarious.
Like, yeah, I got your food, but yeah, so you delivered food to me.
That's hilarious. That's so good.
Wouldn't have known that. I still have my phone set to delete messages after 30 days in my phone. So yeah. It just auto deletes after 30 days.
Actually. But no, then I would lose things that like I need.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's what the
like
Notes app and
I have
the Photos
400
app
unread messages right now.
Jesus dude.
Fuck.
Dude, people that have more than like 5, that stresses me out.
It's like
See,
you got your grandma somewhere down there, and she's like, Logan, why don't you come visit? You just left her on not even open. You didn't even read the text.
See, that's
no. I do read the text. That's the problem.
Okay, that's why I don't
open it. But I don't have read receipts on, so it's
okay.
Why am I not opening it?
No, I don't open unless I intend to respond. So I normally will respond.
I need to put my read receipts on.
You got to go check.
It gets me not in trouble, but just like makes me feel bad when I like connecting with people and I just don't like respond. I just sometimes just don't get to it.
It's not that bad. I've experienced worse. I guess I have more frustration with you, but I guess that's just because I text you way more.
And we live together, so like,
Yeah, but I feel like we see each other less. Anyway, that's not relevant right now, but we can go to couples counseling for that.
Man, you just don't treat me the same anymore. No, yeah, that's dope. I have no idea what we were talking about before.
We were talking about Waiter. And
no, I remember what I was about to say. That whole I just have this on my mind, I guess. But the little like the Grant Cardone booklet that hit a lot of the same notes.
Did I send that to you? The Millionaire Playbook. It's like the little. It's like 30.
I've never been a big Grant Cardone guy.
I do not like him at all.
But
you do love him or hate him.
He's interesting.
That's He's from Lake Charles too. I figured you.
Is he really?
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
He was born and raised in Lake Charles.
Oh,
I
that's
knew
where
he was a
gets
Louisiana boy. I didn't know.
Yeah, he's from Lake Charles.
Yeah,
did not
don't
know that.
I don't
at
like
all.
him because I hate the
LC
brand
baby?
of public I don't know, speaker that's like, I don't know, like profiting off of the wants, you know, not like I feel like he hits so many of those things that's like not real advice. It's just like you can be successful. I don't like those.
Well,
Like what
I'm
Gary
just gonna
Vee
say
is
for-
now, you know, like what Gary Vee used to be, I really liked. But I don't know.
Gary,
now he's
Gary
all about
Vee's the same, wait, hold on. Gary Vee is the same person he's always been, but like he's just been so right.
Well, no, his message.
when you're
Actually-
when you're so right for so long, you can't help but get a little bit more obnoxious about it.
What I think changed is that he got so successful that now he's kind of just preaching positivity, which I like.
Well, he
you know?
switched his message. He used to
Exactly.
be like, "Hey, you have to work 16 hours a day
Yeah.
in a cutthroat environment, or else you're not going to."
And now
make
it's
it."
like, do
And
what
now
makes
it's
you happy.
Do yeah.
Right, which like I appreciate because he's so successful now that he has to reach a wider audience. Which I'm like, dude, get your bag. You know, like I
Yeah,
love
well,
Gary Vee. I think
He
he's
wants
great.
to buy the Jets.
he's-
How else is he going to do that?
Well, I mean, he did sell like a food type, a resi, which is kind of like a waiter concept. Oh, no, it's an open. No,
it's
not
open
waiter.
table.
Open
Yeah.
table.
Open table.
I just
Open
dig.
table.
That's
sold
what
the
I booked-
Amex.
that's
Sold
what
the
I booked.
Amex for like hefty 9 figures.
Tsunami.
So like,
Well, he also just
all his
exited
money
a-
comes from, all his money
Yeah, he
comes
participated
from
in
like Facebook.
He
He's
was
never
an
sold
angel-
a share of his Facebook. Like
He was
from
an angel investor in
investing
Facebook, Uber,
Like, can
and
you imagine?
Snapchat.
Wow.
That's so
he
much money.
also
That is insane.
he also started a wine label and then sold it to like
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
biggest
I knew that.
vineyards
Oh.
this year.
Empathy wines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah. Basically, I'm not saying I love Gary
No,
Vee.
no, no.
I think he's great.
I've consumed enough of Grant's shit, so I can debate you on that. I'm not going to now.
Okay.
But like,
That may be true. I don't know.
I haven't consumed enough of Grant Cardone, but I'll give you my take on him. He's the Wolf of Wall Street type salesperson, like shove it down your throat, but only if it's the right person type thing. Like his sales strategy is probably the main driver of his success, I think. Like his sales strategy.
Sales is what started him. I love that you said that because he's actually very open about how Jordan Belfort is a scammer and he fucking hates Jordan Belfort and literally said if Jordan Belfort
What makes Jordan Belfort a scammer? Of the whole illegal thing that he did? No.
no like it,
Oh yeah, I
it's
forgot
like
about that.
it's more predatory sales. Like basically, Grant's thing is the reason he became super
Successful.
famous is he was one of the first people to start teaching like needs based sales as opposed to like gimmicky sales. To where it's like if you say this certain thing this certain way, his is like. He basically he'll just go. He's like, "What do you need? This is where," and basically does the whole like show you the value or whatever. And if not, and his whole thing is also just like he really hones into the numbers game, and he's just like, "I'm so committed to this product, and I think every person on Earth can benefit from it," which basically means he can, any person on Earth can buy it. So he doesn't need to be gimmicky. He's like, "Oh, if you won't buy it, either I'll keep trying to close you, or I'll just move on to you," and then he just keeps going down the line. It's not like Jordan Belfort, who it's kind of like say the right thing in the right way.
Yeah.
If you like, you know what I'm talking about by all like gimmicky sales that, it's the way that people feel cheated almost whenever it's like that. Grant is definitely in your face and aggressive.
Oh yeah.
But that's just
Not saying that's bad.
That's just what it takes
Yeah.
to be when you're that cutthroat of. I mean, he started in
Well,
used car sales in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Yeah, I just don't
Getting
like.
off of a drug addiction.
I just don't like his
so-
his.
Humble beginnings.
Yeah, that's what I hate.
LC represent.
I hate
You
his
fucking
his
hate
humble
it.
beginnings. I hate that he started off, you know, in a bad way, and that was good. You know, that story just pissed me. No, that's actually pretty interesting. But I just don't like. I don't know. I don't like people who are like motivational speakers too many. You know.
What are your thoughts on like Tony Robbins then?
I Tony Robbins is
love
a little
Tony.
different though. Yeah,
Tony,
because
first name basis.
I love
yeah,
Tony.
he's met him. Did you know he's met him?
No, I
My
haven't.
mom
Oh, really?
is like huge Tony Robbins.
Yeah, I really
So-
like Tony
so's my
Robbins.
parents.
But he preaches a different message. I'm talking about like Ty Lopez versus Andy Frisella.
See,
you know?
I have Ty Lopez's stuff. It's not. I mean, it's good, but not. It's not what I imagined it to be. I guess.
Yeah.
I think I bought it. I basically got not I definitely got sold on it. But the dude was like, oh, it's $1,000 course, but like I'll give it to you for this price. And then I was like, I don't really know. I can't really do that. Blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, I had like, he was giving me like a scholarship or something, and I was like getting it for $300. And I was like, okay, well, I got a lot for $300, but I wasn't at the point where I was needing to learn sales. I was still kind of scared of it. And that was a big weakness for me for a while, was the actual sales part. But what I did to learn sales, and how I kind of learned a lot about organic marketing and a lot about social media and all these different things, was I did, traffic and funnels.
Oh.
Are you heard of traffic and funnels?
Are they
They do they have the intelligent advertiser book.
Yep, that's exactly.
So I bought their lead. They're basically their lead gen. Then ended up on the phone with a guy, and ended up in like one of their really, really high level courses. Paid for it myself, and that taught me like how to write copy. It taught me how to write sales scripts, do those different things. And it really is all about improving yourself. So like you have a morning formula that you do when you go through the program. Like you wake up every day and you're like, it's all about manifesting and stuff like that too. But you get put in a Facebook group, and that's like the value that you get out of it, which is like, you have a whole peer network, and like you have a call every day. It's kind of cool.
I do like what you mentioned, because even though I probably consume more of that realm of speakers than definitely you. I really don't know how much you do, but do you listen to Andy Frisella at all? So I like him a lot because his current podcast is Real AF. It's super. He's very honest, direct, tell it like it is.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is like, I think he just knows that it's raised his brand awareness, and he uses it to like, he only uses the motivational speaking to like promote his company, because he's got a supplement and like fitness company. And I mean, he gets paid to speak, but like that podcast runs no ads, and they don't run any marketing for it. It's like solely word of mouth, and like social media, obviously. But that's what I like about him, is he's like really all for the message.
Yeah, and his message is, it's gonna suck dick for a long time, and like eventually you'll make it, probably. Maybe.
Yeah, his story is him and his co-founder painted this giant parking lot, took the 20 grand they got from that job, started their company, made hardly 20 grand in sales for the first 10 years. Like over
10 years?
Yes, they literally suffered out for 10 years, and then it fucking year 11 it just like fucking started. They did something right, and it took off.
That's pretty cool.
So that's his whole point, is like, you're gonna eat shit, but you just need to know that and just keep your head down and just keep doing it.
Well, that's what I got out of Gary Vee's stuff for the most part. Like whenever I kind of needed it, was kind of the whole, you're 22, you're not even through the first quarter yet. Like you're really not even through the first quarter of your life. If you say you live at 100 or whatever, like that really put things into perspective. And then also kind of his whole thing, like you're literally like 1 in 4 trillion or something, whatever the number is, of like just existing. So just being grateful for that and stuff like that, gratitude kind of helped me a lot with just realizing that it is about the process and it's not about the end result, even though the end result is very nice to think about. But you can't run a business you can run a business to hope to sell it one day, but you can't run a business and be like, oh, that's it. That's what it is. Like you want to run the business to like actually, like the reason why I started Mallard Bay, right? I'm an outdoorsman, big duck hunter. Like I want to be able to just duck hunt whenever I want, go like make the connections, have the people wherever I want to just be like, oh yeah, like let's go hunting, like just buddies. Like that's why I started it. And then also comes into fact is like, I want to help other people. So yeah, of course I want to sell waiter.
You did that.
Hey, me too.
I did that already. No. And like sell Mallard Bay eventually. But when the opportunity came to actually sell Mallard Bay, when I was kind of at a low point in some instances of like what I wanted to do or like where I thought it was going. And I thought that our technology stack would be good to just like, you could get stock in another company for it. But the actual founder of the company was thinking about buying us kind of lit a fire under me because like he didn't realize.
Yeah, fuck you, Land Trust.
Shh. What an idiot.
Shh.
No, it's fine. Those things like expire or something, I think.
We can edit it out. What? Don't worry.
No, I was just being dramatic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we actually can.
And
if you'd like.
But still, fuck them.
So
fuck unnamed company. There we go. We'll replace it with that.
So
put the Zhang Yan or whatever. Do you remember that? The side note. They said some Asian name on Santino's podcast, and then that was the word they used to bleep out everything that Chris and Stefano said. It was anyway, continue.
You don't do any bleeps, do you?
No. Fuck.
But yeah, it was kind of like he came down to Louisiana to like, meet us and like see everything. So he came down to Louisiana to raise money, and he did. But a lot of the people that my dad was connected with through Waiter and stuff like that, they ended up investing in Land Trust. So it was kind of like, even my dad invested in Land Trust, which is totally fine by me, because at the time I was like, oh yeah, maybe we'll sell the company or whatever. And we're still going to revisit Q1. Don't know what's going to happen, but they're having their own struggles too. So, but they're in a way more, I say, complex. Landowners, like I see their Facebook ads, right? They're marketing through Facebook to landowners to drive their supply side, where we have a direct sales process that drives our supply side. So it's just not the same strategy. And I just I really didn't like the overall vision. Like, my plan to get to $100 million plus company is completely different than what he would do. So that's where it was really where I was like, well, even if we do it, I'm not going to separate the Mallard Bay Bank. Like, Mallard Bay is going to be in its own niche and it's doing its own thing. It's not going to just become them. Like, it's just not how I would want to do it.
Yeah, it's just not exactly the same. Not the same vibe.
No.
Of this unnamed company.
They're out of the hunting tech capital, Bozeman, Montana, right? But
is that really the hunting tech capital?
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay.
That's like Onyx Hunts or Onyx Maps, HuntWise. These different apps that are like GPS, navigator apps. Like, they're out of there. Like the Meat Eater, like Steven Ranella.
Also, to confirm the conversation, he is friends with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan talks about him on one of his podcasts.
Yeah, they are friends.
Nice.
Yeah. We're doing an outdoor show with
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Well, no, Steven Ranella just wrote a book, and I was learning in an influencer course that I was taking, shoutout.founder.com. And
is it founder with no E?
Yes, founder with no E.
I know exactly.
Waiter with no E, baby. I wonder if he got that from Waiter. That'd be funny.
Hey, our LSU app, Mentor,
that's right.
Yeah, we still have from Waiter.
No E. Dude, I saw they made it into Brew, the last 10, and I'm like, what? You're still pitching that?
Oh, what?
Yeah, Mentor made it to like the final 10 in the Brew pitch like the $50,000 pitch competition. I saw Cosper retweeted it. Not retweeted it. LinkedIn shared it. Because I'm keeping up with LinkedIn. And yeah, so it was. I don't even remember what we were talking about there.
No E's.
Yeah, so influencer course.
Yeah,
and like, I made my influencer 100 and all these different people to reach out to. One of the things that he's saying is people that are trying to promote books, you can reach out to their PR company and you can get in touch with them. So for the outdoor show, I'm actually going to be reaching out to the Meat Eaters PR team here soon to try to see if we can get Steven Ranella at the outdoor show.
Yeah, that's very smart, especially seeing that Matthew McConaughey went on literally every fucking podcast that would have him on to promote Greenlight.
We should have had him.
I bet if we reached out to the right person, we could have pulled it off.
Yeah. It's like, how many views you'll get an episode? We're like, it depends.
I think
he's like, all right.
Well, I like how he went the Spotify route though, like Joe Rogan.
He did?
Well, yeah. I mean, they
is it an audiobook?
No, the green lights.
I thought it was just a book. I didn't know it was an audiobook. Sorry.
No, he did the audiobook, but like they did all the content with Spotify.
Oh,
so like
I see.
he kind of signed a Joe Rogan-esque
Oh, I
deal
see.
with
Okay, yeah,
Spotify.
yeah.
I was very confused.
Yeah.
I was like, does Spotify have ebooks?
Dude,
now?
you know, Spotify's made so much money off of that deal. Their stock like hadn't stopped going up since then.
I also don't know because I know there's some concern that I've seen that they might not renew the deal because
He's not exclusive. He's still on YouTube, which I thought that was part of the deal.
No, it just moved over because Bill Burr's episode was not on. I had to watch Bill Burr's episode on Spotify.
You sure?
Unless he posts them later, like way later. Like it was
maybe.
like 3 days after.
Well, the Clips one is probably still there, like Jerry Clips.
Oh yeah.
That's the only ones I really.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm
Jerry
talking about
Clips.
full. I'm talking about like full
I
episode.
watched the one with Wiz Khalifa the other day. Really good.
Have you ever seen it's the chopped up Joe Rogan clips?
Oh, was it Joe Rogan talks to Ro Jogan?
No, it'll be like things like Joe Rogan falls in love on his podcast or something, and it's so funny. I'll show it to you later. It's so funny.
That's when you know you have so much content out there
Exactly.
that you can just
No,
Like,
Joe Rogan
you take a
meets-
4-hour podcast.
Joe
and they chop
Rogan
it up.
meets Ro Jogan it's basically they took real questions that he asked and they made a AI based
Oh,
off him
man.
because he
That's
has
crazy.
a decade of episodes. He's got 1,500.
People have too
plus,
much time on their hands for all.
that they were able to siphon through and they were able to get him to say stuff that he has never said before.
That's so funny.
Which is dangerous to think.
Yeah.
Then they can just.
Oh yeah, you can just create like a AI face.
No,
like,
it's
just
perfect because
recreate Donald Trump or something. And just make him say whatever.
it's perfect for Joe Rogan though because he can, if he ever says something wrong, he can always just be like, "Nah, that was fake." He's like, they just probably did it using AI for that.
Well, I think
never said
Joe
that.
Rogan's excuse typically is, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm just a moron. I just
Yeah,
repeat what other
that's
people
true.
tell me.
Which is a
Which is
brilliant excuse.
Oh, it's a great excuse.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I'll
if
start
you're going
saying
to
that.
label yourself as a moron, like
He isn't a moron. He
No,
is way
he's-
smarter
no,
for
he's
business
not a moron.
than I realize.
No.
The amount
hell
of
no.
entertainment business he's about to create in Austin, Texas is fucking insane. He literally, Austin's main comedy club just closed down. He is about to open up a comedy club in Austin.
Whenever.
Really?
He has gotten so many people to follow him to Austin from LA. So he's going to have all
dude,
of
I
those.
want to go to Austin.
Yeah, Austin's a great.
If I had to pick
great
anywhere,
place.
probably
He's like single-handedly, or he is the biggest influence of moving Hollywood from LA to, or the entertainment.
Austin's the new Silicon Valley. I don't know if you knew that, but
Well, I
it
mean,
is.
Austin is just is so California right now. I didn't know this until recently, but apparently recreational marijuana is legal in the city of Austin.
but only in the city.
Yes.
But only in the city. But like anywhere else in Austin, or
Anywhere else in
be
Texas.
careful. I gotta be careful what I say here.
This podcast is brought to you by Ritalin.
By what?
Ritalin?
What is that?
Never mind. It was a bad joke.
By Ignite.
Oh, Ignite Cannabis.
Is that a cannabis? Is
That's
it
Dan
Ritalin?
Bilzerian's cannabis.
No, I know it's
specifically.
Ritalin.
No, Ritalin is like a aggressive prescription drug.
Yep.
This podcast is brought to you
By a class, they're Schedule 3 narcotic.
Yeah. Just pick one.
Schedule 3 narcotics.
But
just pick
no,
one.
like seriously, y'all should just do like
Schedule 3 narcotic.
pro bono ads. Like
Oh.
just do like an ad.
No, because Anchor already had that shit for us. They were like,
but it's
do you,
like-
they were like, do you want to do a
But just do
charity ad
product-
for going to vote?
No,
And I'm
just
like,
do-
no.
Do products that you like.
And then just advertise them every single
Not-
episode until they pay us.
yeah, until you get big and they pay you. I don't know.
This episode is brought to you by mallardbay.com. That's mallardbay.com. You can find it on the internet. Go vote. Go vote.
You can Google it.
You can not vote, but go vote on
Go vote.
mallardbay.com.
On November 19th. mallardbay.com. So where
Yes,
you can vote.
by the time that this episode is posted, you can find the link to the outdoor show in my Instagram bio.
Oh, wait. So
And in
the
the
outdoor
description.
show will be.
It's in February.
No type. Yeah, it'll be.
This might come out in January. So.
Yeah, so it'll still be there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you said the show
Still
was coming out in
there.
February, so I didn't want people to go
oh.
look for it and then it's not there because it's not out
Oh,
yet.
no, the show is the landing page and everything. We just finished it all.
Okay, so that'll
like,
be live.
Yeah, and I'm not taking lead on. I'm taking lead on like the marketing side of it, but Caroline's taking lead on like the sales side because it was her idea. But
Well, for the outdoorsy show, I would like to eventually.
Outdoorsy show?
I got to figure out how to like.
you could have a booth. Y'all could have a booth. The
Oh, it's
Function
expensive.
Podcast.
It's expensive.
for
Oh, I was saying,
$500.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just want to get.
We sell guns.
No, like seriously, they have a bunch of different booths.
No, I was just saying I want to
Really?
for the outdoor show. I want to figure out something to promote it where we actually do go murder hogs in a helicopter with assault rifles and film it. I really want to do that. And since you mentioned
wanna
that you
do
can,
that.
Dude, yeah.
hook that up.
Put some of those
can hook
on
that
Mallard Bay. Oh my God, you'd crush.
Dude.
I would. I was
The
just
function would love
where do
it.
you
I
fly
would
that?
love to do
Well,
that.
the place that I'm going this weekend.
You gonna do that this weekend?
No, I'm not going. I wish.
Dude.
No, I wish I was going to do that this week. No, but he does like two a year. He says he gets
okay.
like a helicopter and does it. So
That's amazing.
it's not something that he can.
He
like,
pulls
offer.
strings
He doesn't
and
have
gets a literal
he doesn't have
chopper
enough,
gunner.
He doesn't have enough hogs to do it like
Okay, yeah.
regularly. But yeah, I'm excited to go kill my first deer. And there's a lot of ducks on our property.
I'm assuming
It
this
opens
year
weekend. I'm
and not
skipping it.
period.
Huh?
I'm assuming this year.
No, I've never killed a deer.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Nope, never killed a deer.
I mean, I've never
saw
deer
one.
hunting, so
never
I-
even saw one.
You ever seen a deer?
No, I've seen a deer.
Deers aren't real.
Okay.
No, I've seen my fair one time. My friend was on the way to our camp in Gaydon, and he hit a deer, and then we had to
And then he shot it
put
and
it.
said, "Hey, look
he
at this
very
deer I shot."
humanely put it down in the street and take it, and we cleaned it.
Yep. And then you got to eat it out of respect.
Yes, absolutely.
Out of respect. Make a little stew, so it can rest easy in your stew. Yeah,
But y'all aren't big hunters, huh?
no, not anymore. I mean, I never was a
Yeah.
big hunter, and now I'm just not a hunter at all because the place that we used to go, we sold, and now it's. And also, I don't like deer hunting very much. I get a little bored.
Yeah.
The only thing for me, which is so not like most hunters, is the only exciting thing for it is to shoot guns. It's
Really?
like I just like to shoot guns and will jump at any opportunity to do so. So hunting, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I'm
to
not
shoot.
there for the love of the sport or for the sake that I really like to eat the animals specifically.
I
but,
really
yeah.
enjoyed duck hunting and rabbit hunting because it was a
take
little more
that, Peter.
active.
Duck hunting
Yeah, duck hunting's fun, but
is my shit.
so we had a camp in the spillway,
Mm.
and I don't know. There's just no ducks there. That was the issue. It was like my dad used to take us, and it was fine. Like I remember when I was really young, before I was like really killing anything. They would have good trips, whatever. For the next like 7 years or whatever, my dad's just like, yeah, there's just no ducks here anymore, and
The migrations are.
yeah, they move around.
Yeah, they do, and the migration this year has been very solid for Louisiana because it's been cold.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have noticed it,
Has
but
I haven't been outside in a while. Been coding, so.
but like good. No, but yeah, it's like last winter. Now it's
was
not
hot.
freezing.
It was a hot
It was
winter.
a hot winter.
Oh my
last-
God.
So that coupled with the fact that Americans couldn't go across the border to Canada.
Mm.
I've been to Canada to duck hunt. It's awesome. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. But they're in the sky.
Yeah.
And so that also helped the numbers a lot. But like my dad was telling me, he said, our farmer told us that we've never had this many birds on our property, like ever. And
Yeah.
I'm going to Texas to deer hunt.
Mm.
I'm
Well,
still excited about it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like the only hunts we've done have been like guided hunts or whatever. Which is
Wonder
What
where
guy
you
did
could,
the hunt?
huh?
I wonder where you could do one of those.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking to my dad about Mallard Bay. I'm like, man, this makes it a little easier. But yeah, I'll hook you up with them. They're good people. They're in Abbeville.
Wait, who?
It's I can't remember what they're called.
It's that dude and his wife.
Yeah, basically. I mean, no, they actually have like a real thing. It's
That dude and his wife hunting
yeah.
company.
Oh yeah, it's the Sam Johnson LLC.
T-Bob and A-Bears.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna look it up after this, and I'll let you know.
Do you have anything else? As this?
I
I'm
don't.
just even curious.
Not.
keep
Not.
going.
I mean, answer
Oh,
the
yeah.
internet.
Hmm?
I kind of forgot.
Oh yeah, weren't we supposed to do that, like
Yes.
question and answer?
Yeah.
All right.
It's not really
I mean, I've
Q&A.
just been talking,
It's
so.
like it's that's what podcasting is you just talk.
About whatever.
Yeah,
Generally,
exactly.
yeah, podcasts are about talking. We could sing, but that wouldn't be
I
much
think
of
I'm
a
gonna buy. They
podcast.
sell an actual box set of that, and I'm thinking about buying it.
Did you know Tam used to DJ?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I just found that out. He was showing us like one of
Yeah,
his
he
sets.
has his mixes.
Yeah, at
when,
KA
when he
and,
lived
Old
when he
Miss.
lived with me, like he would kind of play it. He's definitely a big EDM guy.
Dude, yeah, it was sick. I was like, kind of want you to,
Tam.
you know, have something.
So they have
I
an
don't know.
app for Answer the Internet now?
Yeah.
Yes,
I love Barstool.
Oh,
we should have talked
fantastic.
about Barstool. Dave.
Oh, we should.
we can talk about Barstool a lot. I think I
can talk
I've
about Barstool for
determined that I am
days.
Yeah.
the biggest Barstool fan for somebody who does not give a shit about sports at all.
There you go. You're a Dave Portnoy guy.
I'm just a big fan of their company culture, and they're an entertainment company that niches in sports. At the end of the day,
Okay. Here's what we got. Would you rather be? Oh wait. Oh yeah. Would you rather be drunk 24/7 or never be drunk again?
Never be drunk again.
Yeah, I think I would have to because there's other drugs out there. You know.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's
I was gonna
plenty.
be like, I feel like I could potentially be a high functioning,
could-
but no, there is other stuff out there.
Yeah, it's like
No.
if I never drank again, you know, I'd do.
If I never drank again, I'd probably be.
I can just
I'd be
microdose
like
shrooms.
somewhere. I don't know. Probably be like successful already.
I'd be like a
that's
superhuman maybe. No, yeah,
I just do Adderall every day.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I just get addicted to like amphetamines or something. Yeah, I think being drunk 24/7 is just far too debilitating. You can't I can't really do anything when I'm drunk. Except
Also, this
except have fun, but like I'm not always
can't
trying to
do
have fun.
anything.
Also, do you think somebody would die? This is a completely random question, but if they made a supersized Xanax that literally looked and was the same size as the Fun Dip stick,
Yeah, I think they'd die for sure. They'd die.
Nah,
that would have to kill you. That
They
is
would 100% kill you.
nah, there's
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
probably
My brain just went there.
probably yeah. If it was like that dense, probably would.
I need
Yeah.
to stop
But
listening to South
I mean,
Florida rap.
it's all about tolerance, right? I guess.
Yeah, true. I mean,
I've never
it's
been a
like-
big. I'm never. Nah,
That's good. Neither have
not
we.
a big bar guy.
not a big bar guy.
Not a big bar guy. Okay, well, whatever. Put the Xan in another Xan.
That was pretty quick. I don't want to get copy strikes, so I'm not gonna sing the whole thing.
I don't think they would. I don't think they're under Universal.
Do you have like an outro and stuff that y'all do?
Yeah,
We have a song, but we kind of
usually we just sing it. Boom.
it's an instrumental. We do it.
Yeah, no.
We sing the instrumental.
Uh,
If that's everything you've got, where can people find you?
So if you would like to connect with me, you
Everything will be linked below.
find
as well.
me on LinkedIn. Just search my first and last name, Logan Meaux. Last name spelled Meaux. I'm used to doing that for
The non-Louisiana people.
Yeah.
Make sure you
For
have
the
something to offer him
non-Louisiana
too.
Meaux.
A dowry is best.
And Instagram is Lmeaux, Lmeaux, Elmo. Get it? 43. Also, Mallard_Bay is our Instagram. Also, so
And then mallardbay.com.
yes, mallardbay.com. Just search it. Should come
Sweet.
up.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Had
All that
fun.
stuff.
Second podcast down. First one was Paul. Now,
Paul's on the list down the road. We'll have him on at some point.
Paul's got a podcast?
no, he
did. It was called the
It
Paulcast.
He stopped shortly after me for some reason. I must have just been too hard to top.
Yeah. He's like, I can't guess that good. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Make sure to smash that like button too.
Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow. What are you doing? Spotify? Can you follow?
Look, I want
Yeah, you can
everybody.
follow.
I want
Yeah, we don't-
everybody to stop right now, and I want you to go and hit the 5-star and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, please do that too.
right now, because these two guys deserve it because they actually put out content consistently.
Also, flash sale on the jerseys. I don't know when this episode will come out, but I guarantee the flash sale will still be there. So,
It's not much of a flash
so
sale.
Oh yeah, Mallard Bay merch in the Instagram bio.
Oh, really?
Y'all have merch? Oh, I mean, I see you're wearing it, but I didn't know if that was if it was public merch or not.
Official.
But
Well, I had to get it in to see.
Yeah.
To make sure that I was gonna look.
Make sure it was
good enough.
sick.
all right, cool. Well, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.